Be honest with yourself for a second. How long does your VA disability check actually last? For some of you, it is 72 hours. Rents, bills, a few swipes at the gas station, maybe takeout on Friday, and poof, it is gone. Then you are counting down days until the next deposit. I know that feeling. I have been there. And it is terrifying because even though the VA deposit shows up steady, it does not feel steady when you are broke by day 3. That is why I want to tell you something bold. VA disability pay is not supposed to be your survival check. It is supposed to be your forever floor. It is the foundation you stand on to build everything else. But most veterans waste it. They let it disappear into lifestyle creep, car payments, impulse buys, or just surviving another month. And when you do that, you miss the chance to turn that check into freedom. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how I stopped wasting my VA disability pay and started using it to build. I call it the 5-bucket freedom system. If you stick with me, you will walk away with a step-by-step plan that you can copy for the next 12 weeks to make every VA deposit buy you more freedom instead of less. Let's start with the pain. Because if you don't feel the pain of wasting your check, you won't feel the urgency to change. Have you ever noticed the predators that circle every military base and VA office? Payday lenders, buy here, pay here car lots, buy now, pay later. Furniture store advertising easy financing and no credit check. Landlord who know exactly how much your BAH or VA check is and set a rent just under it. They all know what you are getting paid. They all know you feel safe because it is guaranteed. And they all know how to take it from you. That is why so many veterans end up broke despite having money coming in every month. The check itself is not enough. The check needs a plan. Without a plan, your VA pay is just fuel for someone else's profit. With a plan, it is the beginning of freedom. The difference between broke veterans and free veterans is not the amount. They might both be getting $2,000, $3,000, even $4,500 a month. The difference is literacy. One spends, one builds. So how do you build? The first step is to stop thinking of your VA disability as your income and start thinking of it as your floor, your survival check. The money that guarantees you won't starve, won't be homeless, won't fall into absolute chaos. Everything above that, jobs, side hustles, businesses, that's your ladder. That is what grows your life. But too many vets make the VA check the ladder and then climb nowhere. They live exactly at the VA level, never invest, never build, never stack, and years later, they are still stressed. That is not what this money is for. You paid for it already with your body, your sleep, your sanity. Now it is time to make that money pay you back by giving you stability and option. Here's how I do it. The 5-bucket freedom system. It is simple, it is repeatable, and it protects you from yourself. Because let's be real, discipline fades, emergencies happen, temptation pop up. You need a system that runs even when your willpower is low. The 5 buckets are emergency, shelter, skills and income, investing, and joy and health. Emergency, shelters, skills and income, investing, and joys and health. Let's break it them down one by one. Bucket 1, emergency. Before you do anything fancy, you need a cushion, an emergency fund. Why? Because life does not care about your plans. Cars break down, kids get sick, rent goes up. And when that happens, if you don't have cash, you swipe a card. High interest debt is the fastest way to waste your VA pay. Every dollar you send to Visa is a dollar that never grows for you. So the first thing I tell every veteran, take 20% of your monthly VA check and swipe it and sweep it straight into a separate saving account. Not your checking, not the account with your debit card attached. A separate account you don't touch. Build 3 or 6 months of expenses. If your bills are $2,000 a month, your target is $6,000 to $12,000. That is your cushion. That is your floor under the floor. And you automate it. Don't wait until extra money shows up. The automation is the discipline. Once that is in place, emergencies stop being emergencies. They are just inconvenience. And inconvenience don't break you. Shelter. Housing is your biggest expense, and the way you handle it will make or break your financial life. You have got 2 tracks here, depending on your values. If you are okay with interest, the VA loan is the most powerful mortgage product in America for veterans. 0 down, no PMI, and if you are rated 10% or higher, no funding fee. That alone can save you tens of thousands of dollars. Hard house hacking, and you have eliminated your biggest expense. Buy a duplex, live in one side, rent the other. Or buy a house with extra rooms, rent them out to roommates. The rents cover your mortgage, you live for free, and your VA disability check can stack instead of vanish. And remember, Lenders often gross up your VA income, meaning they treat it as if it were worth more than the raw number because it is tax-free. That helps you qualify for more. Civilians dream about this kind of leverage. Veterans have it handed to them, and most ignore it. But maybe you are like me and you don't use an interest-bearing loan for personal reasons. That is fine. There is still a path. Call it rent hacking. Find a place below market, sign the lease, and bring in roommates to cover your share. Or rent a bigger space and legally sublet rooms. Your disability check plus rent can cover the bill, leaving your job income untouched. The point is the same. Don't carry shelter cost on your back alone. Whether you use the VA loan or rent hacking, the goal is clear. Keep your shelter expense at 30% or less of your total inflow, your total income. If your VA and job pay total $5,000, your housing should be $1,500 or less after hacks. Do that and you will have freed up half of your check to build wealth instead of burning it. Bucket 3, skills and income. Here's the truth. Your VA disability check is powerful, but it is capped. You are not going to get rich off it alone. The way you build wealth is by stacking skills that pay in the civilian world. That is where VR&E, vocational rehabilitation and employment, comes in. This benefit is not talked about enough. It can pay for certification, trainings, and even tools or equipment if you are going into trade or starting a business. But here's the thing. It is not a blank check. You need a plan. You need to show that the training leads to sustainable work. So pick a lane. IT certification like CompTIA A+, Network Plus, AWS. Project management like CAPM or PMP, trades like electrician or HVAC, nursing programs can cover the cost and sometimes even provide the laptop, the books, the licensing fee. That is a free leverage. You turn your VA check into time to study and you let VRE foot the bill for skill that raise your income for life. That is not wasting your check. That is multiplying it. And don't forget business. If you qualify, VRE has a self-employment track. It is strict. They want a real plan, real feasibility, not just I want to start a t-shirt brand. But if you are serious enough, say you want to do contracting, IT services, or something tied up to your background, they can fund equipment, licensing, maybe even initial capital. Pair that with the SDVOSB certification, Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Business, and now you can bid on government contract with set-aside advantages. 10% of federal contracting dollars are reserved for business like that. That is billions of dollars you could tap into, and most veterans never even apply. Imagine taking your VA check, covering your survival, and using VRE plus SDVOSB to launch a business that fits your future. That is not luck. That is literacy. Bucket 4, investing. Once you have got an emergency fund, shelter handled, and skills in progress, now you start investing. But here is where a lot of vets get confused. Disability pay is tax-free, but it is not earned income. That means you cannot contribute to an IRA unless you also have earned income, or unless you do a spousal IRA where your spouse income covers the contribution. That is the rule. Don't let anyone mislead you. So if you don't have a job, your path is taxable brokerage accounts, and that is fine. You can still buy low-cost index fund, S&P 500, total market, and set up automatic monthly buzz. Time in the market beats timing the market. If you do have earned income, match your Roth IRA if you can. $7,000 a year if you are under 50 years old right now. And if you are 50 years old and more, you can pay $7,500. That's free, that grows forever. If you are on a high deductible FN, fund an HSA. That is the only triple tax advantage account in America. Deductible on the way in, grows tax-free, come out tax-free for medical. That is the cheat code. And if you have got access to a 401k at work, contribute enough to get the match. Free money is free money. The point is, don't let your VA check just sit down there. Once the basics are covered, let it bear you asset that will still be there in 20 years. Bucket 5, joy and health. This one sounds soft, but it is critical. Too many vets either blow all their money on fun or cut all fun and burn out. The balance is to allocate 5 or 10% of your VA check to joy and health on purpose. Gym memberships, therapy, travel, experiences with your family, the things that make you feel alive. Why? Because money without purpose makes you drift. If you just order every dollar, you will feel empty and you will eventually sabotage yourself. But if you give yourself permission to enjoy a slice within boundaries, you stay sharp. You protect your mind and body. And a healthy, motivated veteran makes better financial decisions everywhere else. So that's the 5-bucket system: emergency, shelter, skills and income, investing, joy and health. Simple but powerful. But here is where it gets real. Systems only work if you put them on autopilot. That is why I built a 12-week action plan. Week 1, open a saving account and set a 20% auto transfer for emergencies. Week 2, pull your credit report and list debt by APR. Pick your housing strategy, VA loan house hack or rent hack, and start lining it up. Week 4, pick your skill path and enroll. Set, trade, or VR&E intake. Week 5, open a brokerage account. Set up an automatic buy for index fund. Week 6, calculate your free money line, the point where your VA check covers your essential, and promise yourself to live at or below it. Week 7, schedule your first exam or class milestone. Week 8, set your joy and health budget. Week 9, apply for VR&E or SDVOSB if you are eligible. Week 10, check your emergency fund progress. Week 11, take your SET exam or hit a new income milestone. Week 12, review, rebalance, and repeat. In 3 months, you will be living a different financial life. Not rich overnight, but stable, intentional, building instead of bleeding. Now, let's deal with the excuses. The first excuse: it is not enough money to do all that. Yes, it is. You are not trying to mass all 5 buckets at once. You are allocating percentages. Even if your check is $1,000, that is $200 for emergencies, $300 for shelters, $200 for skills, $200 for investing, $100 for joy. It adds up. The second excuse: I will do it later. No, you won't. Later becomes never. Later is how veterans end up broke with expired benefit. The third excuse: it is too complicated. It is not. Complexity is an excuse. The steps are boring, not hard. And boring is good. Boring builds wealth. Let me ask you something. Do you want to be the veteran who tells the story about how the VA paid you every month and you blew it? Or do you want to be the one who tells the story about how you use that money to build a life that your younger self couldn't even imagine? I know which one I choose. I know which one you can choose. Because at the end of the day, wasting your VA disability is not just wasting money. It is wasting the sacrifice you already made. You already paid for this benefit with your body and your time. Put it away on impulse and excuses. Use it, multiply it, build with it, turn it into freedom. So here is the challenge. Next month, don't let your VA check vanish in 72 hours. Pick one bucket, fund it. The month after, add another. In a year, you will look back and realize you built something solid, something real, something that does not break when life throws punches. That is the difference between wasting your VA pay and using it. That is the difference between broke and free. And that choice is yours. Peace. I'm gone.